Hello everyone, welcome back to clusterbmilkshake. I am your host, along with support puppet, Mr. Chicken. Yeah. Today I want to go over a book called 8 Rules of Love by Shetty. Now, this book came into my life because I had one of my subscribers show me this book because I was talking about, I don't know what love is. I need guidance. I need tools. I was reading one book that was giving little simple examples, and this was brought into my life. Now, for weeks beforehand, I was watching a video every day that was helping me reprogram my subconscious mind by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And the host, who I didn't even look at his name, I didn't even care. He's the one that wrote the book. Oh my God. So I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. Then while I am doing the book and writing the notes and everything, I have a caller who I end up telling the book to. Somebody who also has a distorted thinking mind. And I'm like, dude, you got to read this book and everything to help you understand. And he was like, that's the book I was reading with my girl before, we broke up. He's like, holy shit. And it's like, yeah, we all connected. Get back to reading it, by the way. All right. So, also another synchronicity. The other night, how I've been saying, I need to learn how to control my split. Well, a couple days later, I'm in bed and I'm remembering, came into my mind, a book that I used to read about deconstructing the ego. And I don't know why I thought of it, and it came up. And I didn't remember the actual title of the book, but I did remember that I did write it down in a little notebook. So after looking in a couple places, I did find it. I go through the book. I see that it's talking about us, the emptiness inside, projections, the false self, thinking that something is wrong with us, paranoia and fear, and healing our split mind. Holy shit. So I rebought that book. And when I was in that notebook, a piece of paper fell out. And when I opened up that piece of paper, it had directions that I wrote down for the first time to my sweetie's house. And what this told me, because I get to put whatever meaning I want in my life, this told me that I was on the right path to make my relationship whole, with or without him. Because I don't see life in a straight line. I see it as in a circle. And if I can heal in the present moment, that is going to heal my past. So, let's get on with the book. Rule number 1. Solitude. Learning to love yourself. Alone, we learn to love ourselves, to understand ourselves, to heal our own pain, and to care for ourselves. So he guides us through self-love. He teaches us these things: pursuing our interests alone. This is with or without a partner. If single, he gives you scary activities to do to push yourself. You know, I'm like getting all these things out. What? Go and do all that fucking shit alone? Brr. But, you know, all the alone interests, I'm like, yeah, hell yeah. He wants you to be comfortable being by yourself. The lens of solitude makes us open up and be curious. The lens of loneliness makes us insecure and prone to bad decisions. As such, solitude is the foundation on which we build our love. And he guides us through things for us to work on when we are alone. And these are, you know, our goals. Our goals, working on our personality. Yeah. Our emotional health. Yeah. Our physical health. Being very aware of how you treat your body. Now, I went down to Capri cigarettes, okay? And I am smoking a lot less. Baby steps. Eating healthier, exercising, working out, working on your relationships. The knowledge, this is part of that, how to create better relationships. And then, you know, your finances and your job. Working on these goals will build confidence and high self-esteem. You don't want your partner to determine your self-worth. That is your job. But you do want their support and vice versa. It goes into great detail how to achieve these goals. Rule 2, don't ignore your karma. Karma is more about the mindset in which we make a decision. You made a choice and you have to live with the consequences of that choice. Karma is trying to teach you transparency and honesty. It enables you to use your past experiences to make the best choice now. He talks about karma and relationship choices, about the impressions that were made on our young brains about what love is. Toxic. And we have to be present enough to choose differently. And he goes deep into how we are to see that within ourselves. Karma is a mirror showing us where our choices have led us. Instead of blaming our partner, you have to also take responsibility for the health and well-being in the relationship, or just admitting to yourself that you chose wrong due to the impressions that were made on you in childhood. Forgive yourself. This is what you were taught was normal. Okay? He continues with a lesson of identifying how relationships were impressed on you and steps on how to choose a partner wisely. He helps us self-reflect on the roles we played in our last relationship: fixer, dependent, or supporter. And a lot of us think that we are supportive in our relationships when, you know, actually we're toxic as shit. And so we really need to learn what a true supportive partner is. A supporter is their partner's champion. You're not a parent. You're not a child. You're side by side with your partner. You're trying to take responsibility. You're trying to develop patience. You're trying to help the other person grow, but you're not trying to micromanage. And this is where, you know, me and you will be controlling and trying to fix the other person, trying to control them so you feel safe in the relationship. Fix yourself, you know, instead of you fixing yourself to be a better partner. Rule 3, defining love. So he takes us on the journey of the stages of how we gradually build into that love, and how not to fall into the pitfalls of the honeymoon stage, okay, that we all go through. He talks about attraction and dreams. This is the honeymoon stage, the dating, the setting of boundaries, sex, family, revealing our traumas in micro bites, our goals, and our rose-colored glasses. Yeah. He talks about our struggles and growth and trust. Now, struggles is usually where we have the conflict in all of our relationships. Mm-hmm. All right. The struggle. Two different people from different households with their own beliefs, values, expectations, and dreams. There is no way to experiment. This experiment can run smoothly. Love means that you value your partner enough to confront different areas. And if you're with somebody who can't fucking handle conflict and always runs away from it because, we feel like we're going to be rejected by our partner, criticisms, we're thinking that, we're unlovable. We're projecting that onto you, making it your fault. You're the piece of shit. You're the fucking unlovable one. Bye. Bringing awareness to your relationship is uncomfortable. We see this as a burden. We expect love to flow naturally. So remember, no matter whatever relationship that you're going to get into, there's always going to be conflict. And it's learning how to resolve that conflict in a peaceful way. And he goes into great detail on how to do that. We need to make mistakes, identify what we need to change, and work on doing better. This is where we grow as individuals and together. If you are willing to grow, you will come through the experience with a stronger and more resilient love. Do you notice after you make up with a partner, a real makeup, where there's understanding and, if your partner ever took responsibility for something, and I know when I have taken accountability for something and it was accepted by my partner, it was just like, I just felt so safe and cared for, of being forgiven because I took accountability. So cluster Bs know that too. You will have a greater bond with your partner if you are able to see your wrongdoing and fucking just be vulnerable enough and jump, do that bungee jump, okay? Trust. Trust begins with ourselves. We have to be trustworthy. This means aligning what we think, say, and do. This is very tough. Excuse me. And in my past relationship, I was trying to be very trustworthy, but I didn't trust my partner. So, it goes both ways. And it's not because I didn't trust my partner because he wasn't trustworthy. He very much tried to do that for me. And because of my paranoid thinking and stuff, it was very difficult. My mind was always plaguing me with shady shit is happening, blah, blah, blah. So we have to have physical trust. When you feel safe and cared for in their presence, they want to be with you. They're present and attentive, and being around them feels good. Now, if you don't feel that, mental trust. When you trust their mind, this is very difficult when you are with a disordered person because of black and white thinking. Our brains will go from, I love you, oh, you fucking suck. And then you are afraid of that way of thinking. And that is, our job to, if this relationship is important enough to me, I really need to fix that splitting behavior. And I actually found a book that's helping me with that too. All right, so you need to trust their mind, their ideas, their thoughtfulness. You may not agree with every decision they make, but you trust the way they make decisions. Now, later on, he's going to talk about how being a good guru. Both of us are teachers and students to each other. We both are not all wrong, and we're both not all right, and we have to learn through each other. Emotional trust. When you trust their values and who they are as a human. Do they treat you well? Are they supportive? Do you trust how they behave with other people in their life? So when you read this too, you're going to understand what love was not as well, and things that you need to change about yourself so you can create better bonds in the future. Give your partner grace and maintain trust by sharing honestly around the issue. It's impossible to have trust if there's dishonesty and secrets. Trust builds slowly and needs to be nurtured and sustained. He gives an analogy of percentage points. I love the love bank points. That's every time your partner does something good, you're being very aware of their goodness, and you are depositing love into their love bank, and that is growing. Now, and this goes for you too, and when you do something bad or perceived as bad, there is a withdrawal from that bank. So you always want to be conscious of what you're depositing and withdrawing from the love bank of your partner. Love brings us through all these phases over and over again. We never stop dispensing our faith in each other. We endlessly find our attraction renewed. We work to remove, I need food. We work to remove impurities. Love means that we're happy to go through this cycle together. Now, like I said before, some people think that, a partnership should be easy. And you will jump ship and go to something else. And even though that I stopped jumping ship to go to somebody else, I kept jumping ship. And a big step in my process would be to handcuff myself to my partner. I should get handcuffs and be like, okay, you're I can see that you're starting to freak out. We got to put on the handcuffs. Okay. Rule number 4, your partner is your guru. This is where I'm talking about both of you guys are teaching each other. None of us can see ourselves or the world clearly on our own. We typically form our concept of how others see us based on how we see ourselves, which is inherently flawed. Others see us differently through their own perceptions, but learning to see ourselves through the eyes of both expands and fine-tunes our own perception of ourselves. Now, this goes with, we're mirroring each other. Now, what I would do is, I'm giving off a good reflection because I want a good reflection back from you, but I'm not connecting to you. There's always that barrier, and it's breaking that barrier. And I want to see the good in my partner. It talks about teaching through example. Okay. So I have to understand my own projective behavior. If I feel bad about myself and I'm going to project it onto my mirror my mirror is going to react in a negative way back to me, telling me who I am. So if I stop thinking those things about myself, I'm not going to want to project to get a negative reflection. And that's me connecting, seeing that I'm doing this, and connecting with my partner. Now, I'm not saying that my partner is all perfect, or any future partner is all perfect. But what we want to do is be this supportive system for each other. Okay? So, here he asks questions to assess whether your partner is someone you can learn and grow with. Then he talks about things for you to both do to be good supporters. He talks about not criticizing. He talks about not judging or being abusive. He talks about being mindful of the way you speak to your partner. Don't use anger, harsh words, or fear to inspire. Over the long term, it erodes trust. He then gives you some examples of how your wrong thinking is and how to speak. Please, if anything, read this to become a better parent. He talks about how to, different ways on how to be a better translator when your partner is coming to you with a problem. First, echo what they said, then what you heard, explaining it back to them in your own words. Finally, when you're sure that you both understand the issue at hand, tell them how you feel. We tend to respond with what we feel first, using what they said to justify our feelings. He also talks about appreciating our partners and how to do that. Rule number 5, purpose comes first. Purpose comes first. The 4 pursuits. Number 1, purpose clarifies your values and priorities to yourself and your partner. Number 2, working towards stability in terms of finances, health, self-development, and personal growth. Number 3, pleasure and connection. This is your relationship with others. And number 4, liberation from the material world when you connect with spirit. And I believe that that is just learning how to reprogram your subconscious with new healthy ways of thinking. And yes, I ask for support. He talks about writing a love letter to your partner and how to create that. And I got all teary-eyed when I read that, because it's everything that I would have wanted to pour out to my partner. Rule number 6, win or lose together. He talks about productive arguments. He talks about how we see our wrong thinking, about I'm all right, you're all wrong. He talks about seeing each other as a team against the issue. It's not you against me. It's an us against the problem. I love that. All right, then he talks about different steps to take in an authentic apology. Now, I love reading this because I had already done this, and it basically was saying, you did the right thing. You did the right thing. So I know this to be true. And when you go through these authentic steps of how to apologize to your partner, the feelings that you are to self-reflect on, the questions to ask yourself before writing this, so it's not a manipulative thing. You're not asking for shit in return. Okay? A lot of people, they're like, I got to get my partner back. It's like, how about take responsibility and leave it up to that person and setting them free if they want to be free. But at least you're setting yourself free too, and you're giving them that gift. Both of us make mistakes. Then, rule number 7, when to break up. He goes through all the steps to look for when, it's time to go. You can't make somebody stay with you. You can't make somebody want to go on this journey with you. A lot of times when we come to our partners and we want them to, go with us on this healing thing, they almost think like it's this big college course. And it's not. It's learning how to, communicate better when there's conflict and stuff. Sometimes you'll see that, now conflict is the one that ruins the whole relationship. And sometimes you'll see that, you're not having conflict all the time. Some of you are. And if you are, and you're going to see that you can't stay in this environment. But some of you are having conflict like once a week, once every 3 weeks. And even though that one big issue is what breaks you apart and you're having all this, fuck you forever pain and stuff, this will help you, have better communication. And I have faith that type of relationship will help you grow together. He teaches about nurturing intimacy. He talks about the steps in looking at your relationships, from what is intolerable in the relationship, which is a big old no-no. What is tolerable, how to go into understanding together, how to change from the intolerable to understanding, to acceptance, and then appreciating your partner. Because for underappreciation, finding someone perfect, you will never be able to grow. You would take love for granted. The thing we can't tolerate is actually an integral part of the person we love, and may be part of what makes them lovable. The question is, do you want to go on this journey with your partner? If you're motivated by commitment to and love for this person, your endurance for this journey will be stronger. He goes in how to have a nice breakup. He also goes through how to take care of yourself when you are going through a breakup, how to self-reflect on that breakup, the things that you've learned from that breakup. And this is so fucking great because he's teaching you that, it's not just, it's you, it was us. And we're going to learn from that so we can move on to better relationships in the future. He talks about waiting to date. He talks about a checklist to see if you're ready to date again. And the last rule, he talks about how to expand your love out into the world. The more people you help, the more you expand your capacity to love. And when you give out without assuming, I'm doing this to get, and you set it free, you're going to be in a much better place in your life. So, I hope that was helpful. Have a great day. Namaste.